Hi, in this video I'm going to show you one of the great features that we are including in OxyPowerPack. So, what is Sass? From their website, Sass is the most mature, stable, and powerful professional-grade CSS extension language in the world. There is also another one called Less, but Sass is much more popular. I'm not gonna get into details. I'll just say that Sass allows to reuse and better organize style sheets. It makes CSS more like a programming language. Most professional web developers are familiar and love Sass. As we can see in the Sass website, there are two flavors of Sass. The regular one, which looks and feels different than CSS, and the other flavor is SCSS, which means sassy CSS, because it basically is pure CSS syntax, but with all the power of Sass. With OxyPowerPack, we use SCSS, because it's easier to learn if you already know CSS. To show you how to use Sass in Oxygen Builder, I'm going to edit a blank page. The first thing I want to mention is that there are actually two ways to use Sass with Oxygen. The first one is to write Sass directly to elements or classes. For example, let's select this section and go to Advanced, Custom-css, and now we can see that there's a new button called Enable SCSS. This button is added by OxyPowerPack, and if you press it, it will enable Sass on this specific element. If we click it, we can see that the regular CSS editor goes disabled, and there's an Edit SCSS button. When we click it, it shows the Sass editor for this element. Let's do something quick. I'm going to style a few nested divs with different color each. Remember, we are editing Sass for this section element. We can set the first child with a padding of 20 pixels. That will inherit two child elements. Set the first child div to be green. And then, if we add another div inside, it will be yellow. If we add another div inside the yellow one, it will be red. Let's make the next one magenta. And another one that will be blue. Now, let's click the Save and Close button to compile and apply the changes. We can see that the compiled CSS is already there in the All Disabled CSS editor. Remember, we enabled Sass just for this section. If we select any other element, we will have regular CSS, and we will have to enable Sass for that one too, if that's what you want. Okay, let's see if the styles are working. Let's add a div. And another one. And it's working. Beautiful. But the real power of Sass comes with the ability to include external files to organize the style sheets and separate concepts. So, the recommended way is to use Sass in Oxygen is by using the Oxygen style sheet system. To show you how Sass style sheets work, I'm going to delete all the divs and disable Sass for section. Disabling Sass for an element brings back the old CSS code that was there before enabling Sass. First, let's add a tabs element to style it using Sass. Now, let's go to stylesheets. And here we can see that there is a new small section here. This button is for adding Sass stylesheets, and this button is to compile our Sass and generate regular CSS stylesheets. Let's add our first Sass stylesheet, and let's call it _tabs components. I put an underscore character at the beginning because I don't want this to be a source stylesheet. Instead, I want to use this tabs file to include it into other stylesheets. Also, we can see that OxyPowerPack automatically created another file called Oxygen Colors. This Sass file contains Sass variables for each defined Oxygen global colors. For example, we can see that we don't have any global colors defined, just colors that comes with the atomic design set. We can go to Settings, Global Styles, Colors, Global Colors, and add a new color. Then we can open the colors Sass file and see that the new color is already there. This file has an underscores too, so we don't have source stylesheets yet. If we use the compile button, we can see that there's nothing to compile yet. To add an actual source file, we have to create a Sass stylesheet and name it without an underscores. For example, let's call this one main. In the main stylesheet, we can import our helper Sass files. Let's add some basic structure for the tabs component. I know the class names by memory, so it's easy. Now, let's make the content wrapper to have a background color from the atomic color set. And use a different color for each individual tab. Except for the active tab. This one should have the same color as the content. Let's compile it. And it looks perfect. Now we can see that we compiled it and it created one regular stylesheet with the same name as our only source file. If we add more source files, it will create more regular style sheets on compilation. For example, let's suppose that we have an About Us page and we want a Sass style sheet just for that page. So let's create it. When we compile it, it now generates 2 regular style sheets. For advanced use cases, we can make our Sass to create actual CSS files in the Uploads folder of our WordPress site and enqueue them on the specific pages we set for each style sheet. To do that, when pressing the Compile button, you have to select the second option, compile each SCSS file to an actual CSS file. When we select this option, there are 3 ways to enqueue the style sheets. By default, the first one is selected, and it enqueues all the style sheets on every page. The second option allows you to select on which Oxygen templates or specific pages you want to enqueue each style sheet. For example, I want the main style sheet to be included on every page that uses the main template. It basically will include the style sheet on the whole site. And the About Us style sheet, I want it to be included only on the About Us page. I believe there are 2 About Us pages. Yeah. Okay. The third option is for advanced users, and it is used to enqueue the style sheet programmatically using a code snippet or a custom plugin. So that's it for this video. I hope you find this new addition useful. We will continue improving OxyPowerPack and making Oxygen Builder great again. Thank you. You still there? I wanted to make it more clear how this second option works. Compile each SCSS source to an actual CSS file. I have this one selected, and I selected the first option in this case, enqueue all generated CSS files to all frontend pages. What this does is save my sheet.scss, it gets compiled, and this ugly CSS that basically removes everything from the DOM is going to be enqueued on every single page. You can see empty because of our CSS. That is a big display none on everything. So what happens if when I compile it, I select the second option, select where to enqueue each CSS file. Select my sheet.css, and I want it to be enqueued only on the About page. Compile, save, and try again. My About page is blank, but every other page should be visible. Great. Let's inspect the source. Select the body, and there it is, our sheet. Great. I just wanted to exemplify this. Thank you.